the stillness of the night, there comes a time to understand, to reach out and touch tomorrow, take the future in our hand. We can see a new horizon built on all that we have done, and our dreams begin another thousand circles around the sun. We go on to the joy and through the tears. We go on to discover new frontiers. We go on with the current of the years. We go on moving forward now as one. Moving on with the spirit born to run. With each rising sun to a new day we go on.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We call it ImagineEars.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ImagineEars Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Matt.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh.
I love that intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh man, where to even begin? So for those of you who see our show title, who are watching and or listening, this is indeed the final episode of the ImagineEars Disney podcast.
There she is.
And you may be wondering why. Why would we end something so great? We will get to that. But it's all good things.
It truly is. That's what actually makes it even harder. It's not like Matt and I had, some kind
Falling
of
out.
falling out, or Disney
She
World
hated
has
her wedding video so much that she's like, I am not doing this podcast with you anymore.
I cried 3 seconds into it as soon as I recognized the song you chose. So it was not that. And it's not some kind of clickbait, misleading Disney closes park, Disney shuts down, whatever. And you end up finding it's like they
We are
closed
not.
like a bathroom in Shanghai. It's
We are
nothing
not inside the
sketchy.
magic. No, this is not an
No.
inside the magic article. This is uh this is true. It's all true.
Yes, it is not April 1st. This is not April Fool's. This is the real deal. And I think we're just gonna really just feel it
Yeah.
tonight.
Yep. Didn't really have anything planned for
Nope.
tonight. We just wanted to chat together with you guys and just kind of let you know what led us to this decision and just kind of reminisce about the last 6 years.
Gosh.
Almost 6 years for the podcast.
I mean, realistically, for me and you, it's been 6 years. The amount of time we took talking about it and planning it and coming up with names and that original logo and different things. I feel like you and I have been in this for at least the full 6 years.
For sure. For sure. I remember when I first approached Susie about the podcast. We'll get that in a second. We'll get in a second.
Mm.
Let's tell everyone why first.
Okay.
Just
That's
get that out of the way. Get the sad stuff out of the way.
Yes.
So a few weeks ago, I was approached by leadership at Travelmation. So as you know, both of us are travel agents with Travelmation. And for the past 4 years, almost, I think, for Travelmation, they have had the Travelmation podcast.
Mhm.
Easily one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, not just for the content because it's so good, but I sincerely love and appreciate the people who are behind the podcast there at the Travelmation podcast. Tim, Alston, Christina, and Christian, correspondent Christian Dumont. And they have done such an incredible job creating a podcast during the pandemic
Mm.
and turning it into something that is so beneficial for our clients at Travelmation
Yeah.
that our agents can share and use as a resource, not just for our agents, but for our clients.
Right.
Much like the same reasons we created this podcast.
Yeah.
We did it for you guys. And there are some changes coming for the Travelmation podcast. Tim and Alston are both on the leadership team at Travelmation. They're some of our vice presidents, and their plates are just getting pretty full.
Mm.
So they are stepping away from the podcast, not permanently. They will be reoccurring guests, of course. And I was approached to come on to the Travelmation podcast and help co-lead that with Christina and Christian. So after some time thinking about it, I think this was the next best step for me
Mhm.
to take on this role and to continue really the legacy of that podcast and
Mhm.
help continue that. And I'm going to do my very best to do that. And we had our first official live show last night, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We talked about our bucket list travel
Mhm.
destinations. It was a good time. Christian's is North Korea.
I guess he plans on living a very long time because he's not kicking the butt, ever going to kick the butt.
So I'm excited to join the podcast there at Travelmation. Looking forward to the future there. So this is not the end for me. So I would encourage you, listen, if you've been a faithful podcast listener here
Mhm.
for the ImagineEars podcast, please come on over to the Travelmation
Definitely.
podcast. We will still talk about Disney.
Mhm.
Now, that being said, I don't know if we can do like a top 10 Disney bathrooms episode at the Travelmation podcast. It's a little bit more official and serious, I guess you could say.
Listen, that is completely understandable. There are heavy hitters who have been on part of the show and who are currently the new faces of the show. I am so excited for Matt. I will be making an occasional appearance as well.
Yes, yes.
hopping in and taking over the show to hijack it to a bathroom episode. That's really what I'm looking forward to
Look,
doing.
if we ever decide to actually do a bathroom episode of Disney, you're the first
Just
one
show
on
them the
call.
numbers. It was like our most downloaded episode for a very long time. But in all seriousness, this was an opportunity that is tailor-made for Matt. This is where I get to come in and hype him in the show up. Matt is so like disgustingly talented at what he does. It's ridiculous. And I don't mean like that disgusting is but everything he does, the travel agent today, I had a client reach out. It's not something that I was in a position to handle, and called Matt, and within like 30 seconds, he's like, "Oh yeah, I recommend blah 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 blah." The guy knows what he's doing, and he's gonna absolutely rock it over there on the Travelmation podcast. The talking portion, Matt knows his stuff, and he's fun and funny. And how many of these countdown or these lists did we come up with? And at the end of the day, Matt would pull something like Cuscotopia for his next imagined park or land, and it was like, oh my gosh, like that's the obvious correct answer. So and then from the tech side of things, we joked about my wedding video. Matt did my wedding video. Matt has such a technical eye and understanding for things. This is just a perfect opportunity for him to continue to grow as a podcaster, as a travel agent. Again, this is not any hurt feelings. I love Matt and his wife and their kids, and they are family. They really are. We were talking on the show before we started about we need to plan a trip now that my husband has a annual pass, and all four of us go down for an adult weekend.
And please tell everyone the news.
I promise, Matt, when we do this, that I will ride Tower of Terror. So we may make one more social media appearance or something on our YouTube there, should I survive. For me, I have a amazing change in life the last couple of months, and that doesn't just include my getting married and having stepkids. I have a different job. My responsibilities have changed. My passion for Disney, for talking about Disney, has not gone away. But when this opportunity came for Matt, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for this show. It's the platform that he deserves and that you guys really need to go listen to. It's, very informative, but these guys are fun at the same time. It's a nice mix of both worlds, all different backgrounds, all different personalities. It's so fun. And the rotating cast.
The personalities are going to be something else. Christian, dear friend of mine, maybe one of the funniest guys I have ever met.
Christian is wild. So it's perfect. And so again, you'll get a really good blend there. This is hard. This is not ideal. In an ideal world, we would do this until it was possible for us to travel to North Korea.
I wish I wish I had time to do both.
I wish I had time to, this is just where our lives have taken us, and it's the right step. I'm going to butcher this, but there's, quotes out there, and it's basically, I don't know, the gist of it is basically like the right thing to do is not always the easiest thing to do. And normally that's talking about, like the hero's journey and like telling them and inspiring them to like, go kill your father, the bad guy. But in this instance, the right thing to do and the hard thing to do was to move on from this incredible show, which, we'll gush about you guys and some of the awesome experiences we've had on here. But honestly, by the way, 6 years is nothing to shy away from. I'm, so proud of what we've done. And this is just exciting for us to go out in a way that ushers in just really exciting chapters in our lives. But especially Matt, I am over the moon for this opportunity for him.
Thank you. So again, this was not an easy decision.
No.
We have a lot of just really fun memories.
Yeah.
From the past 6 years doing this. So maybe we just mention a couple. Somebody asked me this. You're like, what was one thing you one of your favorite memories
Mm-hmm.
beyond doing it with Susie, of course. But
Thank
I
you.
think, man, just the people that we were able to interview, and
Oh my gosh.
we did a handful of really fun interviews. Like,
Yes.
I enjoyed all the topical episodes; those were fun, talking
Sure.
about all the Disney history and just fun things. But you know, if you listen to the podcast, you know that me and Susie are big Star Wars fans.
Yes.
And being able to interview James Arnold Taylor and
Oh,
Ashley Eckstein during the pandemic, those are
yeah.
some of our first.
Right before the season 7 premiere, which that season of Clone Wars is just outstanding. It brought in Bad Batch. It was this amazing closure with Ahsoka and Order 66. So we were getting them really at that re-hype and I guess height of popularity for Clone Wars. So that was huge for us just in terms of like, an exciting kind of timely thing to talk about, but then us personally being able to geek out and talk with, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano. Like, what?
Yeah, those were really fun, and not just them, but we've created some really lasting, and I mean truly lasting. I strongly believe that some of the people we have connected with on this podcast, we are going to be friends for life.
Mm.
I am specifically talking about David and Jen.
Yes.
They are some of
Yes.
the best people.
Absolutely.
Wonderful podcast, and going to miss hanging out with them.
Mm.
But we always have the parks, don't we?
We do. And you know what? We're only a 10 messaged conversation back and forth trying to schedule a time away from being on their show and getting the gang back together. So yeah, just another plug for our friends at the Make Sure to Electrical podcast. We love them. And yeah, the podcasting world is fun. We got to meet all kinds of cool people, and that's one of my top things was specifically working with them through the monster task of narrowing down our 100 favorite Walt Disney World attractions for our 100th episode. Oh my gosh, how many years ago was that? 3 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
3.5, because that was during the pandemic. Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at some of the comments because they're starting to come in. Jonathan Joseph, can you be my friend for life too? Absolutely. And I was going to mention those two. So all the people that we interviewed and just friends on other podcasts that came on as guests. I mean it. Like, some of y'all who have been interacting with us for the past several years, we love y'all too. And we will absolutely still be friends, and don't be strangers. We're still on social media. It's not like we're disappearing off the face of the earth. So
we're still booking travel if you
wink, wink.
shoot an email. Yeah.
But yeah,
See
Jonathan
Kevin's comment.
and Kevin, he says, sad to see it end. You guys lead me back to my love for Disney during the pandemic, which eventually led to my engagement and wedding at Disney. Thank you and congrats on your new journey. So,
how many of our clients have and friends from the show have gotten engaged since that's monumental. I booked a engagement trip, and then a few years later, a baby's first trip for the same couple with Hannah, and this story from really, this is like, these are life-changing, monumental milestone events with otherwise strangers on the internet. I have a friend in Ireland who for some reason would do Friday night movies with us when it was 2:00. Claire, go to
Claire.
sleep. But like, what is that? Literally, I have another friend who's traveling to Ireland for the Taylor Swift concert, and I texted Claire and was like, hey, do you have any like advice on things? Like, I I have a friend in Ireland if I have any questions. What in the world? This show is far reaching. That's insane.
And honestly, one of the greatest joys for me in planning these trips for you guys, just being able to see you all go down in the pictures on social media, and
Yes.
the engagement photos and all the things that happened after that with playing for the wedding. Like, I helped Kevin with his bridal room, the wedding room block. So it has been so much fun just being able to take our love for Disney and just see that translated to seeing you and your families having lasting memories in the parks.
Mm.
So
I mean, I remember when we were all a little bit weary of this coronavirus and we decided to, just for a couple of weeks while we're in lockdown, we'll watch movies on Friday night and then Discord. And then, it was hard to keep up because life is a thing. But that time when we were genuinely all locked in our houses and just live watched Disney movies weekly together, is so silly. It was so fun. You saw other people start to connect. Like, we were the platform in which other people found friends. And it's like, what did we do to deserve that? We joke about ice cream and bathrooms on this show. Really, it's crazy to think about.
yeah. So gosh, I don't know what else to say.
I'll say this, and this is something that I really appreciated about our show is, yes, the bathroom episode, but we just would have so much fun. Those Would You Rather episodes were chaotic at best and just completely unproductive at their worst because we laughed the whole time. Festivus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most iconic thing we ever did the last several years with our Festivus episodes, because when you love something as much as we love Disney, it hurts you more because you love it more. And so being able to vent in a safe space, we needed to do that. And then some of my other favorite things were anytime, and I alluded to this with Cuscotopia, that we got to play like movie producer or Imagineer and come up with like park attractions or like which movies deserve sequels or which movies deserve live action, and just talk nonsense with you guys. It was so fun. There's a quote from You've Got Mail, and I'm completely taking it out of context, but it applies here. And basically, Shop Girl Meg Ryan, it's one of my favorite movies, is very upset because she has been stood up by the man she met online and she wants to meet him in person, but it turns out it's her business rival, which is Tom Hanks. NY152. I've seen this movie too many times. And she tells him that basically all that nothing meant a whole lot of something. Because basically they talked about nothing, but they formed this relationship, and obviously they fall in love, and it's beautiful, and it's the pinnacle of 90s Meg Ryan. But all of the little nothings that we did here have added up to so much somethings. And I think that is what makes our show special, is that you guys found this little nonsense, fun, silly thing that we did, and it led to engagement trips, weddings, family trips, and memories that you get to hold on for a lifetime, which will more than outlast any podcast or any podcasting platform. And that's far more important than anything else that we could do.
For sure. I mean, you remember those first few episodes? Well, for a long time we were just audio only, and there was a lot of editing involved.
There was so much, but we also in those early ones were a lot more informative. And I feel like, if there was news, we talk about it, but there was a point where it was like, okay, here's a festival, and we wanted to tell everybody everything going on at the festival, or it was like, this is, and that's good. And there are shows like that, but we found our footing along the way. Like, we grew. I think that's so important. We listened to the people, we listened to each other, and we just found a rhythm. But no, I don't want to think about those early ones. Those, you had to edit those. God bless you for that. I was in a different house.
There's a reason why I don't go back and listen to anything. I might now though, maybe a few of them. So,
Oh,
and
lovely.
I think they'll still be up. I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know what happens when you cancel a podcasting hosting. I
I
don't know
don't
if
know.
they
I mean, the
delete or
internet's
not.
forever. There's
Sure.
Spotify and stuff. I actually deleted Apple Podcasts on my phone just to make room.
Yeah, Kevin.
I don't know why I did
That's what I'm
that.
trying to figure out. I'm not sure, but I'll let you know. But again, this is look, if for some crazy reason you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about Disney and things, and
I enjoy listening to you talk about Disney, Matt. I could do it all day. Genuinely.
but and honestly, if you've listened, especially the past few years, every once in a while we throw in a little nugget about something else. And
Yeah.
I've been in this industry now, travel agency industry, for 8 years in May,
Mm.
and it is just it keeps getting more exciting every single year because as our agency grows, our relationships with our suppliers grow.
Mm.
So we're getting to participate in more things.
Mhm.
So my knowledge on travel and cruises and all the things.
And opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we didn't even really get into your time on your cruise the other week, but oh my gosh. We talked about it briefly, but I mean, that could have been an hour easily of not
Well,
even diving too deep.
spoiler alert, the next episode of the Travel Nation podcast is going to be a recap of Icon
Perfect.
of the Seas.
As it should be.
So it'll be myself and Christian. So that automatically should tell you should listen. Christina is on maternity leave, so she'll be back in a few weeks. But we're going to have some guests from the travel agency who
Mm.
were some of my very close friends. So you get to meet even more people. Not replacing Susie. That's not what I'm trying to say.
But it's different, right? This is a different perspective, a different view, and a different kind of experience. And I think you guys have been with us. Like, it's time to graduate. Like, let's expand your travel knowledge, dive a little deeper into things, and get that other perspective. And so this is just a logical progression. This is the next, step in the evolution of our podcast listeners
Yes, yes.
is to do that.
Because there's a lot of exciting things beyond Disney. And
Yeah.
again, I'm reiterating, we're still going to be talking a lot about Disney.
Mm.
There are some exciting things coming for Disney, I think, in the next few years, which is great.
Listen, can we pause real quick? There has to be.
Which is why I
I
was going
am
to say
genuinely at a point where I'm trying to calculate now if I got all 5 of us Universal annual passes, because we've got Harry Potter and Nintendo and roller coaster fans.
Yep.
I don't know.
But Tiana's Bayou Ventures
Oh my gosh, I'm so
is
excited for
coming
that.
this summer.
Then
So
yes. Oh my gosh. We could okay, well, let's definitely try to get pass holder previews and go together.
of course. So we have that, and we know that there are going to be some future parks projects that are going to be coming down the line that we are obviously going to be talking about. But beyond that, there's some exciting things happening also in Orlando in the next year as
Yeah.
we ramp up towards the opening of Epic Universe. So that's going to be exciting. But yeah, we work with, if you guys don't know, we work with almost 400 travel suppliers. I think I counted our vendor list not too long ago, and it was around 400. It was insane.
Wow.
So we're going to be talking cruises. We're going to be talking all inclusives. We want to best equip you to make the right decision for you and your family on your vacation. So yeah, come check us out at the Travel Nation podcast. It's a continuation of this podcast, just in a broader form. So
it's very exciting, and I don't know. I'm just so thankful. This has been fun. There was a time during the pandemic where we looked at each other and we were like, what is going on? This thing got out of control.
What do we talk about?
There was that, but that's the funniest part. We didn't really have anything to talk about, but people were showing up in droves. Like, it was insane. And which, now we no longer will have the Patreon, as we are no longer this existing format of show, but we had our Patreon and those trivia nights. And it's just, you look back and we've had many different eras of our podcast. And I think I was thinking about this even last year when we hit that 5-year mile marker, many different eras of our lives. Last year before that, I wasn't living here. I didn't have this.
Yep.
You didn't have Eli.
Yep.
You didn't have Gus.
Gus.
It was immediate disgust.
We have a love-hate relationship.
He's so pretty. He's a pretty dog.
He is a pretty dog. He just eats everything.
Oh, I mean, my dog is almost 4 and he's just kind of figuring. I mean, not the eating part, but boys will be boys.
This is true.
They still like to disobey every now and then. But in general, we've come a long way. We talked about those early episodes, just how things have changed. I think Becca was still pregnant with Evie when we kicked this off. So this has been her whole life, essentially, has followed along with us, and getting to see her first Disney trip and then Eli's, and that's just beautiful.
Yeah. Lots of memories. So it has been quite the journey. And I think Steve Garrett's on last show. No. Yeah. But it's been great. And please, if you've enjoyed listening, come follow us over on the Travel Nation podcast. But honestly, we couldn't have done it without you. It's been quite a ride.
Oh, Matt, I could not have done it without you. You ordered this. Don't even know where to, microphone. I don't even know her. So, you really were the brains and the heart behind getting this off the ground and keeping it afloat for so long. And I know what those guys at the new show are getting, and they are very fortunate.
Looking forward to it. A bit of sadness tonight,
Yes.
but I'm excited for the future. So yeah. But well, I guess we will wrap this up one last time. So before any of us start crying again.
Again, yeah.
Very close. I made it through it, guys.
I didn't. Cried at least twice.
Got a little choked up on Kevin's comments. Just all the memories coming back. But thank you so much, guys, for everything. It has been a wonderful journey, and we hope to see you again. But until we do see each other again, remember, if you can dream it, you want to say it, Susie?
You can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.